You don't need to eat grass, quit social media for a month, work 16 hours a day, and wear blue light glasses to become highly productive. You don't even need to do half of that. In fact, you can kind of do the opposite. Because the problem with that advice is it's very all or nothing. So if you're stuck doom scrolling every day and you're having trouble becoming productive, this is a pretty extreme jump, which is going to make it very hard to actually maintain, even if it's only for 14 to 30 days. So instead, I'm going to show you exactly what I do so you can still scroll, eat good food, watch whatever you want, and actually get a significant amount of work done every single day and feel good about yourself at the end of every day. And the thing is, it's only a few small changes. It's really nothing crazy, but almost nobody thinks this way or approaches their life in this way. This is the exact system I've used over the past 5 years to build multiple businesses to, frankly, pretty crazy numbers. And it accidentally made me a workaholic, so just be mindful of that. And once you understand why this works, you realize that you don't actually need discipline the way you think you do. So to get into things here, dopamine detox sounds good in theory, right? Your brain's not getting constantly overloaded with like short form content and all this. Therefore, it makes it easier for you to focus, but most people do it completely wrong, right? Again, you don't need to quit using your phone or remove all stimulation and go through this like 30 days of suffering, basically. Again, that's why most people fail. It's just way too extreme for almost everybody. So instead, there's a much simpler way to get the same result. The goal, to be clear, isn't to eliminate dopamine. It's to control when you get it. It doesn't even matter how you get it. You can eat cake if you want to. So you're not removing reward altogether because that's way too intimidating and scary. You're just delaying reward. And you're essentially training yourself like a dog to become highly productive completely from scratch. Because if you can delay the reward until after you're done work, that's where everything changes. That's what eliminates the need for discipline altogether because you're trained to be productive. Now, I'm going to walk you through what my day looks like. There are 3 steps. It's hilariously simple, but just bear with me while I explain the dead simplicity of these steps because there's a really important underlying concept here. So when I wake up every day, the very first thing I do, like I'll sit on the edge of my bed and drink a full glass of water. 500 milliliters, just whatever glass you have, fill it to the top, drink it. It may seem like a lot. If you want to take a minute to drink it, that's fine. But what this does is it hydrates your body and it wakes you up naturally. I used to drink 2 cups of coffee a day. It made me jittery and anxious, and there are crashes and there are all these problems. Water solves the need for me to even have coffee. If you like having coffee, go and turn on your coffee machine. But in drinking a glass of water, I'd still recommend it even if you have coffee, because by the time you're halfway through having a shower or whatever is happening for you 10 or 15 minutes later, you already feel pretty much wide awake. And if you haven't tried this, I'd encourage you to try it once or twice. You feel alert. Coffee's fine. Just keep things stable for yourself and minimize the inputs right after you get out of bed. So to be clear, I'm not checking my phone when I get out of bed. So you don't need some insane routine. Don't do the wrong things and help your body essentially turn on. Crashing your brain with dopamine immediately after waking up is not ideal. The second thing, again, hilariously simple, but bear with me. I brush my teeth and then I shower. So by the time all of that is done, I feel fresh, I'm ready to go, I'm hydrated now. And this allows me to actually feel alert, not feel like I got hit by a truck rolling out of bed 2 minutes before I start working. And also, no, you don't have to take a cold shower. I don't do that. I've tried it, not a fan. And it allows for a very smooth transition into you starting work. So at this point, I still haven't checked my phone. The third thing I do, crazy, this is the big one, is I just start working. I don't check my phone. I leave my phone on Do Not Disturb. I leave my phone on silent. I leave it in another room. If you have a really bad problem with picking up your phone and leaving it on your desk, I used to have that problem. Just buy a phone lockbox on Amazon. They're probably like $15-20 and just set a timer initially. If it's too scary, set it for 2 hours. And then on your computer, use a Google Chrome extension, Newsfeed Eradicator, to prevent you from going onto social media and just pull your attention back to what you're doing. And you kind of don't even have another choice but to work. Like there's no other way for you to get dopamine. I also don't eat breakfast, so I don't even get dopamine from food until lunch. If you want to lose weight, great way to lose weight is to eat fewer meals without increasing their calories. But that's just like a personal thing for me. If you eat breakfast, like that's fine. So again, don't touch your phone, keep it on silent, don't scroll, notifications are off, phone lockbox if you need to, app blockers. I used to really need that and like have to lock my phone, put it in weird places, whatever. And again, I just don't touch my phone until I start working, and I don't touch my phone until either my lunch break or until the end of my day. So this is what I said when I meant you only really need a few small tweaks. Like, we're not like getting rid of the phone forever, because now, once you're done your work, once you genuinely feel accomplished for the day, you set your lockbox timer to allow you to use your phone, or you just go and pick up your phone. You can doom scroll, you can eat whatever you want, you can watch whatever you want, and just do that with the rest of your day. It's not that complicated. You don't need to quit everything and go crazy and eat grass, like I said, to become productive. Just train yourself to become productive and set your life up so that it's easy to do. And as a note, if you try this, you might want to, and you need the lockbox, for example, you might want to start with smaller increments. So maybe it's 1 or 2 hours without being able to touch your phone. Then you gradually increase it to 3 hours, 4 hours. And like, there are growing pains. It may take you 3 months to like really get good at this and be able to work, say, 6 or 8 hours straight without having a ton of dopamine input. Some people are super hardcore and like to go for it all on day one. Sure, that's what, a dopamine detox or this like monk mode stuff can be good for, but it's just not necessary, and it's really hard to sustain for most people. So like, what's a nice in between? That's what I've found. And again, the deeper theory here is that you're training your brain like you would train a dog. With a dog, you tell it to do the thing you want it to do, and maybe you assist it in doing that initially, and then you reward it, and then you repeat this over and over and over, and eventually you don't even need the reward, and the dog will do the thing that you want it to do when you tell it to. Same thing with your own brain. Dogs have brains, we have brains. So effort first, dopamine second. And so what you're doing in this process is you're building what I refer to as a mental algorithm. It's an automated way of thinking that helps you move forward in life. Your brain learns that work is required and the reward is earned. So again, you still watch YouTube or watch shows, scroll, send memes, do whatever. You're not removing fun from your life. You're just like, let's just do it in the back half of my day, so I don't feel terrible about myself, because you'll feel bad about yourself if you do all these things in the first part of your day and don't get anything done. So just get it out of the way. Don't give yourself any other option, and then you're good. You can have both things at the same time. You don't need to remove the TV from your wall. And really the goal here is to make it easy to succeed and not impossible. So again, when you follow this, you feel productive, you feel in control, you get more done, you feel better about yourself, and you don't feel like you're wasting time or anything like that. Now, as a bit of a warning, I started to get really good at this, and I'd work 8-10 hours a day and then still ultimately scroll, do whatever in the evenings, and I still felt like I was wasting my time. So I ended up replacing that time with more work, and especially as I got busier, as I got more clients in my business, I kind of didn't have a choice at the same time. And so that pushed me to working 13, 14-hour days, taking a walk at lunch just to like deload all of the stuff that was going on in my brain from my business, and eating properly, and not watching anything or listening to any music during my 1-hour lunch break. Coming back at dinner, working out, relaxing for a while just to decompress so that I could get back to work. A little bit hardcore, but I kind of became addicted to working, and to a detrimental extent though. So that's where I say you kind of need to watch out. Like, for the sake of your physical and mental health, you want to make sure you're still exercising, you're still maintaining relationships, this kind of thing. And still, it's good to eat well and everything like that in general, but there's kind of a spectrum here, right? On one end, you can't get any work done. On the other end, you're working every waking hour. So you want to be able to push yourself closer to being able to work as much as you want to achieve what you're trying to achieve. And so again, you don't need a dopamine detox, because if you do that and then you just go and doom scroll again for 5 days right after, you're screwed, and you basically just wasted your time and energy doing that, and now you're back to square one and you feel bad about it. So it's ultimately just a net negative. So what I want to leave you with is a mental algorithm for dealing with this. So a key thought for you is, if I wake up and don't cram my brain with dopamine, I will get more done and feel better about myself later. That's just like a reminding thought, because it's true. And especially as you experience this, you will feel it. Then the next thing is, when you wake up, it's drink water and or coffee, work until you feel genuinely accomplished, and then just do whatever you want. So if you run that filter through your brain every day and turn that into your default routine, you're good. Now, there are all sorts of different kinds of mental algorithms that you can install into your brain like this. to make you more productive, to get you out of your own way, to get you to stop feeling behind, to get you to move faster in your life, in your career, in your business, whatever it is. That's what I help people with, because the longer I stay in business, in entrepreneurship, the more and more I believe that your psychology and what happens in your mind is ultimately what determines your success, your ability to succeed. And having algorithms like this helps you dictate your life in a structured, fundamentally correct way of moving forward at the maximum possible speed with the minimum possible downside for you. So if that's something that interests you and you want personalized help with that, you can click the link in the description. But otherwise, I make tons of different videos on this channel and give away as much as I possibly can based on all the things I've learned over these years of trying to become successful, highly productive, etc. And again, to get out of your own way, whether that be, again, burnout, feeling behind, self-sabotage, fear of failure. There's so many different things. So in any case, I hope you enjoyed.